As a teenager in high school, I ran cross country, and usually it was to condition for basketball or wrestling, and it wasn't a great love of mine. So when I got out of high school, I stopped running altogether and didn't do very much at all for 20 years. And in 2004, when I was 37 years old, a friend of mine was complaining about how no one in our area wanted to run marathons. And I let him know that it wasn't about not wanting to, but it was more about not knowing how to. And he challenged me, and I picked up the challenge, and that's how I began training. And when I first started, I remember going out to the local college track and trying to run around the track there one time. And I couldn't even do it. I felt like I was going to die. And yet, each day that I went out there, I added a little bit more, and I remember calling Robin from the phone, telling her I ran all the way up to the street sign, and it was about 3 miles, and I was so excited about that, and that's when I was hooked. I had gone a distance, and the rest is history. Running the marathons and everything ranked right up there of running to the traffic sign and knowing that I could run a distance now. You know, I never woke up one morning and said, I think I'm going to start a program called Marathon Makeover and help a bunch of people run a marathon. It never dawned on me. As a matter of fact, when I was about 28 years old, a friend of mine was 38 running his first marathon, and I told him he was crazy. And then what did I do before I turned 38? I ran my first marathon. And before running, I was really a couch potato. And I found myself sitting all day in my job. As a therapist, I sit and listen to people's struggles all day long. And I would sit, and then I'd come home and sit. And boy, I noticed so much. I was gaining more weight. I was gaining more stress in my life. I was getting more headaches. And I think I was on a real downward spiral of kind of getting sucked into the problems of life. And with the running, it's given me back my energy, given me back my optimism, and given me back so much more time, because I have to plan to run. And with that, it's just helped me become far more organized. And instead of taking time out of my life, it's added so much more time to my life. And that I appreciate. And it's added so much more life to my time. And that's priceless. There are so many benefits, mentally and physically, to getting out and getting moving. You know, I think about those people who are struggling with mood disorders, depression, anxiety. When you get out there and you start walking and running, the natural endorphins that are released in your brain, they're kind of kin to the antidepressants that are out there being prescribed by the millions. And the research backs up that getting out and getting moving makes a difference in your mood. I have a bumper sticker on my car that says, running is cheaper than therapy. And the research shows that a lot of times it's as effective as therapy. Don't tell anybody that I said that, being a therapist. Physically as well. I think about people who are struggling with weight. Running and walking is so great for losing and maintaining healthy weight. I think about high blood pressure, osteoporosis, those that will develop diabetes from a sedentary lifestyle and eating poorly. All of those can be affected in a positive way if you just get out there and get moving. I think if somebody asked me how I would convince a friend to run with me or run a marathon with me, I would have to say, come and join me. There's something about the relationships that you develop along the way that it's more than just putting one foot in front of the other. It's about building community and building relationships. And yes, running is on one level a solitary event, but through Marathon Makeover it really becomes a community event. And so many times for me, what keeps me running is knowing that I have a partner there to run with me, that I have my group on Saturday that's going to be training with me. And that's the biggest hook, is the friendships that you make and the miles that you spend talking and dreaming together. And once you build those relationships around the event of training for and running a marathon, you can't take it away. I have never encountered a person who regretted finishing a marathon. Never. But I have had friends and I've met people who regretted not running a marathon. And so what I'd say to you is, go ahead and take the first step. You don't have to know how to run a marathon. That's our job, to teach you how and to hold your hand throughout the process. But make the decision now. You won't regret ever finishing a marathon. And through the training process, we can help you do something that, instead of a regret, will be something that you'll tell your grandkids one day. I ran a marathon.